hospital. I think she knows me pretty well. So I have been an advocate for my own self. For others that have suffered with addiction, those with homelessness, those that are in jails, state hospitals, and so I got clean and sober, became an advocate for those inside the state hospital at Arizona. There is a patient there named Danny Monts, who's been inside the state hospital now for going on 9 years. Danny Monts was beat by 3 staff members. These 3 staff members, 2 of them quit their jobs, 1 was promoted to supervisor. His name is Sean Anderson. The director was Shanda Payne. Shanda Payne, because I was protesting using, of course, our First Amendment rights, she put in an injunction harassment to stay away from the state hospital. She contacted my PO, who then ended up contacting the county attorney's office to put a warrant out for my arrest, take me into custody. The day that I was taken into custody was the day that I was severely beaten by Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. And I had my face pretty smashed in. I have a lawsuit here. By the way, for those that don't know, if you guys go to my Facebook page, which if you type in RJ and hit the space bar, and hit B as in boy, D as in dog, O as in Oscar, it'll also pop up as Voice of the Streets. Once you type that in, you scroll all the way down, you can read the lawsuit yourself, and you will see the pictures of Danny Monts' face all beat up. You will see the staff member's knuckles all bloody, and the staff member never got charged with assault. I have given this information actually to the Attorney General's office when he was Mark Bernadette. Of course, Republican, correct? Republican, he didn't do nothing about it. He didn't want to investigate it. He didn't want to do anything about it. So no charges were pressed. So I'm going to read this to you guys real quick. On January 18, 2022, Plaintiff Osorio was in the custody of the detention officers who were employed by the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. The detention officer brought plaintiff to the initial appearance court at Watkins Intake and Release Center. During the course of plaintiff's initial appearance, he became boisterous in his conversation with the judge. So the detention officers escorted him out of the courtroom. Once outside the courtroom, Defendant Corda and another detention officer slammed Plaintiff Osorio against the door, waiting for it to open into the intake and release. When the door opened, Defendant Corda and the other detention officer pulled plaintiff into the release area. Plaintiff pulled away from the detention officers, asking them what are they doing, objecting to the use of force. Immediately, the plaintiff pulled away. Defendant Corda and the other detention officer began punching plaintiff in the face with a closed fist. Plaintiff backed away from the onslaught of punches and attempted to cover his face from the detention officer's punches without any attempt to retaliate or strike the officer. Plaintiff continued to back away while Defendant Corda and the other detention officer relentlessly continued to punch him in the face. Plaintiff backed up to the wall where he could not retreat further. But the detention officer still continued to punch him in the face as he was pinned against the wall. even though his face was bleeding profusely. Finally, a supervisor entered the area and told Defendant Morgan and the other detention officer that's enough. Defendant Morgan and the other detention officer only stopped punching the plaintiff's face when ordered to stop by their supervisors. Once this attack and beating stopped, plaintiff complied with all of the detention officer's orders. Plaintiff got on the floor, crossed his legs, and placed his hands behind his back to allow the detention officers to place handcuffs on his wrists. As a result of this traumatic beating, plaintiff suffered lacerations to the left side of his face and inside his mouth. Plaintiff continues to suffer from headaches, ringing in the ears, emotional distress, and psychological trauma. The sheriff's office began an investigation of this incident in case number IA 2022/024, which apparently is still pending completion. And this happened back in 2022, and they still have not completed that investigation. So to County Attorney's Office, Rachel Mitchell, hopefully you can have enough respect, which I know you probably don't, to be able to step up and investigate Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Why don't you investigate the state hospital also? Since you love putting people inside the state hospitals and put them in a civil commitment. Danny Montz, who is a patient at ACPTC, was beaten by 3 staff members. 2 of them quit their job. 1 was promoted to supervisor. I gave you this information back in 2021, I do believe, but no charges were brought. Matter of fact, while I was using my First Amendment rights, like everyone out here, you took it upon yourself to put a warrant out for my arrest because I used my First Amendment rights outside the state hospital protesting about a meeting that Shanda Payne, the director of ACPTC, covered up. Shame! Shame! And you took me into custody. You put that up, you allowed that warrant to happen, and you allowed your clerks, your workers, to put me in prison for 4 years for advocating for people inside the state hospital. Shame! 4 years for police contact because I got an injunction harassment to stay away from the state hospital because I used my voice to protect people, and you put me in prison for 4 years, but the day that I was taken into custody was the day I got beat by Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Shame! But again, you're not doing nothing about it. It's a shame that you got another term. You're not doing nothing for us, you're not doing nothing for the state. At all.
Fuck Rachel Mitchell!
Fuck Rachel Mitchell!
Fuck Rachel Mitchell!
Sometimes, you need to step down. It's kind of weird how you can have a president who can sexually assault, rape women, mistreat everyone, and obviously here you are, dropping charges for people that have sex crimes, and then they go out and commit new ones, and then you're like, okay, I'm willing to press charges now. When you could have saved that other person's life. But instead, you don't. Arresting individuals just because they speak their mind, freedom of speech, is that right? Is it the right thing to do? Press charges, misdemeanor charges for trespassing? Let me guess. I'm using my voice right now. I'm on probation. Let me guess. Everyone, I'm probably going to end up in jail.
Shame!
Ronnie Osorio. Go ahead, put a warrant out for my arrest. Why? Because I'm using my First Amendment rights? Get me beat up again. Retaliate. I'm used to it anyway. Thank you.